Cinnamon.
Yo. Welcome back to the Raw Sauce. This is your boy, Salsa.
This your boy, Joe Tabasco.
Yours truly, Jerk Sauce, a.k.a. Mr. Hollandaise, if you're nasty.
If you're nasty.
And this is your new favorite podcast, the Raw Sauce.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome. A round of applause. Hey, first off today,
We got a lot going on.
yeah. We want to thank you for jumping on social media and answering our poll question. We had a poll question today. Last episode was, would you rather have the Drake or would you rather have the Madden curse? Either one of those curses.
Quick rerun. What was the meaning behind those, Joe?
If you're coming in late on this, and we'll go ahead and break it down from the last episode. The Drake curse, if you don't know about it, anytime he hangs around an athlete, especially a top-ranking athlete, the next game they have, they lose ridiculously. Don't know how it's happening.
Gone.
And it's, man, woman, it doesn't matter. You're going down quick. And the other one is the Madden curse, which, if you never played Madden, what rock have you been under? Madden has been out for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And the curse is whoever gets on the front cover of Madden, your career could possibly end tragically.
Like that. Congratulations, you're on the cover.
It's not like you lose a game. You could lose your leg. I don't understand how that worked, but for over 20 years, it could be anything. Right. So, yeah. Which one would you rather have?
That's it. We polled the listeners, and it turns out 78% of you would much rather have the Madden curse.
Wow.
That's what
But I guess when you're talking about life and limb, you know what I'm saying? It's like I can give that up, but championships only come once in a while.
That's right. That femur will heal.
It'll heal. But your 92 championship ring is not going to happen but once in a lifetime.
And so all our champion listeners out there, continue to answer our poll questions, listen out. But right now, we got our next episode we're going to get into. We got that sauce in the 70.
Salsa 70.
We got the sound sauce. We got the hot sauce curd topping. That's right. And of course, we got that would you rather at the end. We need y'all to answer. Listen out for that as well. Remember to follow us on Raw Sauce _. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We everywhere. And streaming on all platforms.
We got you.
So to start off, gents, let's go ahead.
You know the deal.
You know the deal.
Bottle right here.
All right.
2 times. There you go.
We got a new one for you. We got a new one for you.
Today, it's hard to get something new off the shelf in liquor stores nowadays, especially here in Alabama. They got it on lockdown for real. So from what I could peep from the distance I was at, I got something I haven't had. It's called Heaven's Door. This is the double barrel whiskey. It's 100 proof. Hundo.
It's going to be a fun podcast.
100 proof.
It's going to be a good one.
From what I understand, it's a blended whiskey.
Sound like a good blend.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be a raw blend.
Of course, in a heavily charred oak barrel. And, they got supposed to have hints of caramel, oak, citrus, and spice. This is relatively new to the market, but we're here to try it out. So let's go ahead.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Grab a bottle. That's
knocking
it.
on heaven's door.
How about, we got some ice?
Yes, we do. I'll go ahead and ice up everybody's.
It's the best part of the show.
Yep.
Every time.
I don't know how much ice you want. Is that good?
That's good enough.
Okay, cool.
Keep it simple.
We got interesting times out there, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all are nice and
That's why I need a drink so we can talk about it.
And safe inside your homes right now.
Right. We had to break out the 100
Fill her up.
this week.
Fill her up.
The hundo.
I'll take that last cue if you don't mind. I'll throw it in there anyway.
He's like, don't
Thank
fight
you,
it.
sir. Yeah,
Don't fight it.
Cool. Keep cool. That's what he always do.
That's it.
Let's see. Let me get this.
Oh, he's 2 times.
That's it. Heaven's Door. Look at
How she smell?
That's it.
What you got? What notes do you pick?
What notes
Actually,
do you
for
pick up?
100 proof, it's not coming at me too hard.
That's
And you
dangerous.
definitely got the oak barrel, and it's definitely heavily charred. But the scent is not too harsh at all. This is actually pleasant for a
100 proof.
Yeah, for 100 proof whiskey for a double barrel.
Oh man, it's gonna be a fun night.
Just go ahead. You want me to pass your glass, or I can pass the bottle?
Pass the bottle.
Pass the bottle.
2 fingers for myself.
I got large fingers.
Mr. Hollandaise
It'll be
has
like a
large
thumb
fingers.
at a index. It'll be a little different. Thank God, sir.
Mr. Hollandaise has large fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a commercial.
That does smell like it's gonna be interesting.
Let's see what we got.
Just like this episode.
Just like this episode. Just like every
You
episode.
got your drinks, gents?
We got the drinks. All right. Cheers, gents.
Another one.
Another one.
Let's see what we got. And of course, y'all tell us what y'all sipping on. That's deceptive.
Yeah, it's got that mellow flavor on there. You
Yeah.
can tell it's 100 proof.
Yeah.
You can the liquor's,
By the bite.
the liquor's in there.
She's got bite. But you can tell because it's blended, they trying to tone it down until you know it's too late.
Trying to think of this is now. I'm gonna step way out
Okay.
on this one.
Okay.
But for those aficionados and those who are enthusiasts, this reminds me. I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take another sip. Hold on, so I
Well,
can
yeah, make sure you don't
factual
stop.
state. Let me try one more time. So, dare I say, this reminds me of the time I had
It's 100 proof.
Pappy.
Oh wow, the Winkle?
Pappy. Listen, the bite that's on it is like it hasn't had as much time on the shelf as a good Pappy, but
Okay.
it's got that same Pappy kick.
Wow.
And that was like some, take my breath away just there, because I tried to let it sit on the palate,
Yep.
and it came through like SWAT team.
It did.
But I like it. This is real good.
I'll even put my hands on that one too. The last time I had Pappy, you'll never forget the taste of Pappy.
No. So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
brought me to this. Reminds me of something. It's like Pappy's cousin Peppy. You know what I'm saying? That's
it.
You got Pappy Van Winkle. This is like Peppy Van Houston. You know what I'm saying? This is a little bit similar to that. But I do feel that by the end of this, you will not remember much. Because that's right there. That's got some strength to it.
That's got some strength.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to, let it marinate and open up everything and then kick my tongue like a SWAT team, like I said.
I feel like the flavor, like it's smooth, and it's like, heat,
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Usually things go up gradually, like it's coming, but this one's like smooth, and I think that's because it's blended.
Yeah, but for me, I wouldn't like that neat because it does have a little heat, and it is strong, so that's why I definitely like mine cubed up, iced up, ready to go.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
two fingers and no cube. That's I'm in for the night, and I'm about to go to bed like right.
Yeah,
after.
this is that hottie toddy right here. This probably can take out Corona,
Yeah,
like 100% by itself.
If only we're gonna send it around. If you get a hold of this bottle of Heaven's Door, this is the double barrel whiskey.
Yep.
Let us know what you feel about
I
this.
like
It's
Nah.
definitely the door that knocks you.
I'm saying. What I can tell you about this, it reminds me of a sniper rifle, machine well, smooth interior, got rid of any frayed edges, but it's gonna get the job done immediate.
Yep, just
That's
one.
it. So that's, woo, it's gonna be all right.
Woo.
So
It's gonna be a fun cast, right?
on that note, we're gonna move on to the sound sauce segment of the day. Now I brought a story in today, coming from y'all know the genius Kanye West, man.
Musical genius.
That's right, man.
Man is on top of some things, man. He's out there doing all
The
kinds of crazy
billionaire.
stuff. Yeah.
Who's on the cover of GQ, ladies and gentlemen?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it.
We're gonna have the GQ curse.
GQ curse. That's it. But he went on to tell a story pretty recently about in the mid 2000s. He had an opportunity to work around Eminem while he was trying to produce.
Another genius.
He was working with D12. They got all the
I
things
remember
going.
him,
M's beats are pretty much legendary when it comes to doing it. And M was actually, most people don't know, a pretty, accomplished producer when it comes to things of that nature.
Did not know.
Kanye held him in high regard. He thought he was a dope ass producer and beat maker.
Yeah.
So while they were around each other, he was like, I need to figure out how to get a hold of this beats. He said he felt a little intimidated by him because at that point in time,
It was smoking.
I mean, everyone anywhere M stepped, it was on fire. So he was intimidated. So he was like, "I'm gonna steal the beats." He's gonna. When I say beats, he was stealing the drum kits
You can't beat it.
You know,
Still it.
So he goes on to tell the story that he was in the studio. He, once again, during one of the sessions, Kanye was working on the title track for the D12 World, and as they were going throughout the day, he had a chance to mix his own sounds of records, and he was looking at M's disc that they had in the studio. So he was waiting to take advantage of the opportunity to, M take a step out, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna just copy as many of the beats as I can until I get back. And so the first thing he remembers is he waited till everybody was out the room. Then he started copying off the back, grabbing this, throw it in the computer. Computers weren't that fast back in the 2000s. We didn't have solid state drives, all that kind of stuff. So he got what he could get. What he labels as an unsuccessful attempt, because almost immediately somebody came back in and snatched up all the CDs and equipment. He goes on to say that M was doing shit you would never heard of, and it taught him a lot of things going forward. He was just building off basic beat principles and things of that nature, and basic kits. And M might get a hold on one, speed up the snare up in there, +8 or something like that, and change up the sample a bit, gave it its unique sound. When you know a Eminem beat when you hear it, how
most of those top producers, man, they got a sound.
Yep.
Right.
You knew if it was Manny Fresh and all that. You knew who was on the beat.
Yep. You know whose 808s is whose.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So he kind of wanted to leave this out in the air and put it out there for Eminem as a compliment, saying, "Hey man, your beats were so good, I wanted to rob you for them."
And I'm a billionaire now, so I just want to let you know. Thanks.
Thanks.
Because by me not stealing your beats, I had to produce my own.
No, that's it. What they say, like a butterfly time. If that didn't happen, he might not have made it. He might not have made it. But for those who don't know, M has gone on to produce a lot of music. He's made beats for artists like Jay-Z, Nas, 50 Cent, Jadakiss, of course, D12. And he was the primary producer on Tupac's, posthumous album, Loyal to the Game.
Yeah.
It was him. He was on top of that. And of course, he had a little help.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre in the background.
When your beats are sick, you gotta call the doctor.
So your beats are sick, you gotta call the doctor.
With it.
That's a t-shirt.
So with that, there's always a thing in the music industry. I want to ask you all how you feel about it, especially when it comes to what they call sampling. Yes. So there's always controversy where it's sampling just copying, or sampling and reproducing it, or whatever you got to do, changing it up a little bit. Is that actually an art form, or is it just stealing music?
I'll let you go first, Joe.
Okay.
I mean, if not, I'll take it.
I'll
I like this. We've been talking about something similar, so I like it.
I like. Okay, we call it sampling and all that. So we're gonna. I like a. Yeah, you might say all box. I like a good remix if you can do it right. If you can't do it right, we're gonna get you for it. If you tear up a good original beat, like say you can even go back to like the Motown days and take one of those beats and turn it out and make it good. Twister did a lot of that.
You mean one of the greatest rappers in our time?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
he did do that.
He did do a little something. But we've seen people like tear up horrible remixes. So it seems like. But I give credit to those who can do it right, and of course I'm gonna joke on the ones who are terrible at it.
Definitely.
So is it an art form? Yeah. It's just like saying, can you draw a portrait or a stick figure? You can suck at both. We're gonna joke about it,
Right.
Some people, I think some artists, and I don't know if y'all agree with this or not, I think some artists look at it and go, I wish I could do that, but I can't, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
So, Jerk's opinion on that is, it definitely is an art form. And if this statement makes any sense, you have people who are artists and you have people who are skilled. Okay. And I feel that there's two different things.
Yeah, two different worlds.
The artist is an expression of this, but skill is your actual transfer of knowledge to a applicable form or matter. Yeah. So you have some of these artists who are good at making beats, making music, but I think it takes a different kind of skill to properly sample to where it flows. Because sometimes you can hear the sample and it's like, okay, if they had just, added this or taken that away, then it would make the song hit a little harder or do something a little different. So I do agree that it's an art form in general, but you gotta have. I mean, abstract art is art, and it's splashing paint and doing everything. It's in interpretation.
Yeah,
so, I'm an artist. Splash. What does that mean? That means I'm happy. So I'm open for interpretation. But when you get into the music, you really gotta have some skill to make that overlay. And I think about one that comes to mind, and I was into, like I said, mixtapes and stuff for a long time, but I remember when they did the Beatles and Jay-Z and made the Grey album.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? The little underground.
The underground. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I've heard about it. But I never was in.
I'll let you listen to it. It's wild.
Was it dope or not?
It depends.
It depends on who. Yeah.
If you like both, you can appreciate what they were trying to do.
Okay.
But if you got an all Jay-Z crowd that doesn't appreciate the music that the Beatles has, and vice versa, it's hard to digest. It wasn't the same as when Linkin Park and Jay-Z collided.
Yeah,
and you got two different worlds.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not really sampling as much as it was like a merging.
It was a
sound.
It was a featuring.
The other one was the set, and it had to be laid on top perfectly. So they had Beatles songs with Jay rapping over that part, and then vice versa. It's a unique concept. And you look at the stuff that's on YouTube now with they got like Biggie over Wu-Tang beats.
Yes,
they got Biggie over Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Those are some talented dudes putting that music together. So I mean, like I said, overall, I think it is an art, yes, but it does require a high level of skill to make it groove.
So are you? So like when you say like this concept right here, let me get your opinion. Like, when you say that, are you referring to like say you are the artist, the guy that does the lyrics and everything like that? You've got the concept. Or are you talking about like the engineer who tightens up that sound and makes it look fire?
Yeah. Because
so
I can have
people,
and that's what I was saying about the difference between being the artist on that, and then having the skills to actually put the art on canvas and make it something beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I can have the idea, but yeah, that's a hell of a skill.
Yeah.
And in this setting, like you're talking about, Kanye kind of to me maybe revitalized, or at least brought it to light a little bit better.
Because he did both.
The art of sampling. Because when he first hit, everything was Shaka Khan, you know what I'm saying? Some of the older, like you said, some of the like 70s, 80s hits. And for a lot of people, I mean, especially, I said a lot of stuff that I didn't know. Had to go back and check, like, whoa, I remember that.
I did that.
His whole catalog has bits and pieces of things from other times, which I'll be straight up about it. When he first came out, Through the Wire was jumping. I enjoyed it. When the Twister got it. But it took me a while. Not gonna lie. It took me a while.
Yeah.
Because I love Shaka Khan, love all her music, but I didn't like the way he was doing it at first.
Oh, okay.
But once I listened to that's his sound, that's his style, and I saw it across the board, even with, what's the one with Twister? Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Lil Anita. What's the name of that song? Let Me Be Your Manager.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, because I'm a Twister fan. So that's what drew me to that. But then I was like, oh, he's really killing it. But if you go back to the
we're going to start this party off right.
But if you go back to the old stuff, like with, shout out to Dipset, Jim Jones, all those dudes were bringing heavy samples.
Yep.
Heavy samples. And you don't think about it, but like the AC/DC, all the rock and roll, they were bringing that in, and it was dope. Yeah. But I think Kanye kind of resuscitated that particular area. And
I mean, he did Otis. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. And killed that one. Killed it.
And I was,
killed it.
I'm real purist, man. I got original Otis albums, and I'm like, you better not mess this up.
And that's what I'm saying. And he caught it, captured it, and then flipped it up, filleted it, and put it back on the plate. And Gordon signed off on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was juicy, and I'm with it.
It was juicy.
So I like it. And like I said, it took me a while to kind of get into it. Then I was like, hey, he killing them with these.
Huh.
So that's Jerry's opinion. I think it's marvelous.
I think it is I think it's an art form too.
And ain't nothing like a good remix. Because back in the day, you used to wait. Oh, the remix coming.
Yeah.
I can't wait till so and so comes with the
flip
remix. That over. But now, like what Salsa was talking about, the beats are starting like the remix would have.
Yeah.
So I like that. That's the evolution of the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing is like in art. Nothing is new. It's all regurgitated.
That's it.
But who's the best at doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like now, who's the best at taking what's out there and like recanvassing and repainting that? Especially with music.
I was going to a YouTube deep dive, and I watch a lot of science stuff on there.
Man.
And they talk about how
they don't know
how much how many notes can actually be original in a human context. How original can you be before you run out of music to make, because you only actually have so many notes, even in that spectrum where a human can hear.
See, a lot of people don't know that's kind of where it starts with regurgitation. It's like, we only have so many notes. There's only so many notes on a piano.
Right.
There's always only been so many notes on a piano.
But it's a high C or a low C, still a C.
No.
Same thing.
Right.
You hit them up. But when it comes to that, I do think you can obviously see throughout history that some people are much better at using samples than others. Some people can apply it and make it their own. Some people just try to cover up their own disaster that they've created with something that is actually good, and want you to buy it off of its own hype, the past own hype. When it comes to sampling, I gotta say, personally, I couldn't do it. I don't know how these people think about it. You know what would be real nice is if I get some like you said, the Beatles right here, throw them 808s in the back. All right, speed it up a little bit. I'm not gonna be able to do that. My mind doesn't process it that way. So I do believe those individuals are very gifted, at least even matching up, the beats per minute to how it sound. You know what? They've listened to what Kanye said. He was doing like 100 beats.
Oh, in the summer, in the basement, make 30 beats like every day in the summer or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
practicing beats like conditioning.
Right. Exactly. So he's got muscle memory. He can hear something. Remember what he's done like years ago. You know what? Would be nice?
1992.
Exactly. With this pentameter, we're gonna hit that on the clock, and I'm gonna use those Star Wars sounds I heard that one time.
Yeah, the phasers.
That's it.
Well, let's not even, when you said that right there though, you're tapping into a whole other element, because Timberland has to come to mind when you talk about, if you're saying sampling, not only the music, but sampling sounds, sampling elements to create sounds,
to a whole nother
and then
level.
bring it to like a whole nother level.
If Timberland can make a baby sound a hit in a song, he got a baby, and then all of a sudden he made like a whole bunch of songs out of it. He was like, give him a Grammy.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. Question for Timberland. I hope you're listening. Does that baby get any money for this? Whose baby was it? How do you sound?
Like a Nirvana baby.
Does he get royalties? Is what we want to know.
He should, or she should. I'm not sure. Whatever's proper nowadays, that baby needs to get paid. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Think about that at the family reunion. Your granddaddy was the sound.
What was the sound?
There was a young lady by the name of Aaliyah at the time. Your granddaddy was a baby, but he made that sound.
Ask him later.
Do it again.
If you ever held by Aaliyah, you make that sound too.
Exactly. Baby girl.
Baby girl.
Give me goosebumps and hot feet.
I'm with it.
Lord have mercy.
I got to be drinking this Heaven's Door over here. It goes pretty good with this salty food.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Like I said, start
Shout out to
knocking
Domino's.
on the door.
Shout out to Domino's trying to come up with their work life with that pan pizza.
Yep. They got the whole non-touch system.
Yeah. Stay clean. That's it, man. That baby sound is legendary, but now we about to change topics. Like that baby changed diapers.
Because there's a lot of shit going on right now.
There's a lot of shit going on right now.
Big time.
I don't even know what to say, but this is going to be the hot sauce current topic. Which
Y'all
is
already know what it's going to be.
the state of the
America.
states. That's it.
The state of the states. That might be the title right there.
We got some unrest
of the states.
Minneapolis has been burned to the ground, waters loop, and we just got word Atlanta is literally on fire right now.
Yep.
Cop cars in the streets are burning. The CNN centers being attacked.
And for those that don't know, just a very brief, because it's hard to even
what it is.
It's hard to even digest this because it's such a I think it's still taboo. To be honest, we're talking about, of course, this is all in reaction to the latest publicized police brutality episode, and it's just unfortunate that we're in these times that that's happening. on such a recurring basis, and it's also captured. You know, it's out there for people to see. It's not overt. It's not hidden. It's none of that.
Will Smith said, "Racism hasn't changed. It's just videotaped."
That's it. That's it. So when you talk about the events of this week, and I'm just going to put it frankly, you had a unarmed black man who was killed by a white police officer. Simply, I mean, let's be frank. I won't even go and say it's his intention. Negligence. I'll put it that way. And I say that loosely and lightly because all actions, you know what I'm saying, somebody's going to say it stems from something. There was a reaction. There's a reason that he did it.
Yep.
But I'll say in this particular case, pure negligence. And I think the negligence was intended. And listen to my words. I'm all about hip-hop and wordplay, and that's exactly what I mean. It was intentional negligence.
Yeah.
And when you have someone in that position, and I kind of put something up about this. I don't even post like that, but this week has been fire.
It's one of those kind of weeks.
You have someone who has the responsibility to protect, serve, take care of whatever, maintain order. At what point do you fight back and exercise your your natural response to resist that when the people who are you supposed to call to help are the ones doing the crime?
Yeah.
When 911 is the one doing it, who do you call?
Yeah,
911, what's your emergency? You.
Who's the authority over the authority?
Who's doing that?
Yeah.
So like no pun intended, but who's policing the police in this current situation? And what's happening, and again, what's happening all across the board is this stuff is not new.
Yeah.
Negroes have been being assaulted, battered, killed under the hands of those who are supposed to be responsible for years.
Yeah. The authority.
The issue is now it is at a rate that seems to be so high, but it's just like Joe said, it's being captured on camera.
Yeah.
So you got the everyday person who is now the live reporter on the ground watching the whole thing from top to bottom, and with the accessibility of social media, it's instant. Well, what happened?
Did you run out of space again?
I think so.
As he looked at the heaven's door, he said, "My bad."
Apple products. Damn, I was about to get into it too. I was like,
Get into it, Joe.
God, I was so ready.
Hey man,
I have words.
I had to make up for it.
No, you good. Keep on going, bro.
Oh.
Hey, shout out to Apple.
Are we still going? Okay, good.
We on. We're not even gonna edit this out. Y'all just come at salsa.
Okay, yeah.
For the glitch in the matrix.
For the glitch in the matrix.
But yeah, like I'm saying, with the rate of things happening now, it's not really that it's something new. It's just that, like we said, it's being captured.
Yeah.
And like I said, going back to what it was, it started. A police officer basically was trying to detain the man and hold him, and he was actually in the process of arresting him, but he did put his knee into his neck. And now they're talking about he had a medical issue or this and that. But on the tape, you can clearly look and see he's in the midst of duress. He's already hyperventilating. We've seen this before with excessive force, and he wasn't moving. He wasn't doing any. I mean, granted, quote unquote, the reason was it was a fraudulent check or a bad check, and crime is a crime. I'm with that.
Yeah.
But the level of force necessary to take care or respond to that crime, to me, is where we have the issue. I'm going to just straight up say it. You have multiple white kids mass murder people with ARs, heavy-handed military-style rifles, killing 23, 25, and I forgot what the other one was. It was 20-something people.
Yep.
And they took the dude to Burger King to get something to eat because he was famished. When you're killing a lot of people, you get hungry. Yep. So he had to take him to go get a king meal. And when you talk about the difference in, he's mass murderer, period. Yeah. And they were handled with care and caution.
Yep. And understanding.
And understanding, put a vest on them to make sure nobody else shot him. This is that. And what we're seeing on the opposite end of the spectrum is it's gotten to this point. I mean, it just is what it is, and this jerk being raw about it. You're black. I'm scared. So I'm going to use whatever force I feel like I should use because I'm going to use the excuse that I feel threatened by you.
Right. That should be all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So when you talk about, like you said, just the training that police officers go to, because I'll be the first to tell you, I've got some great friends who are police officers.
Yeah.
I got some, frat brothers that are police officers. I mean, these are some upstanding people who join to do what the police are supposed to do.
So
It's supposed to protect the citizens and, like you said, save lives and fight crime. I mean, that's what all these guys grew up doing, or wanting to do. And then when you see these guys misuse and abuse their power, that's all this is I have the power to do it, so I'm gonna do it.
Right.
And I'm telling you now, Jerry, so what's gonna happen, like we see in Minneapolis and Atlanta with these riots and things are going on, until it hurts the people that are unbothered, it's still going to happen.
That's right. Until we all affected.
Until we all affected. Because it doesn't mean anything if it happens in your household or my household. But, let's get straight into it with the Target, the CNN Center, everything. These are epicenters of monetary, capital to these people. I say people, the citizens, whatever.
Yep.
Obviously, yelling and protesting peacefully ain't getting it.
Nah.
But if I burn down Target, somebody's going to
You gonna pay attention. All of a sudden, it's all over social media.
Yeah.
And you burn it down.
And I'll be the first to say, that's not the best way to go about it. That's not the right way to go about it. But neither is killing all these unarmed black dudes. Now, get it. If these kids that were the mass murderers came out with their rifles and they shooting up everybody and they still got gun in hand, I got it. That hasn't happened.
Nah.
Dudes have protested on the porches of the state buildings because they were told to wear masks, loaded weapons, and government buildings, and nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Negroes with their hands in their pockets to get their ID because somebody asked them, do you have any ID? I pull out my ID, and now I'm dead because you said you thought I was reaching for a weapon. I don't get it. And these other protesters, these, just say the white guys that are up there with the the assault rifles and stuff, I'm all for having that. I'm all for the Second Amendment. I got pistols now.
Okay.
I got guns now. I'm with that. You should have the right to bear arms. The difference is all this Blue Lives Matter shit that everybody was on didn't matter when it was affecting them going to get their nails done, get their hair done,
right?
All that stuff.
Right.
You got all these white people in the police officer's face. You can't tell us what to do. But Blue Lives fucking matter last week. So now, this week that you can't go do what you want to do, it doesn't matter. You're in their face, loaded weapons, and it is unlawful for you to have a loaded weapon in the presence of a police officer. That's what I was told when I had my pistol.
I mean, you both can't have guns.
So,
apparently.
So, that's my point. So, kind of tying into like the state of what's going on. Sorry, but I get high.
No, you're perfectly right. Because
you got three educated black men who have been in these situations. I'm not a thug. I don't gangbang. I'll slap you if you mess with me, but I ain't no gangbanger. But I've had a gun pulled on me by a police officer. I've been sitting looking in my car like I might die today because I'm looking back. And he's got a gun drawn. This is in 2001 or 2. You feel me?
Lord.
So it's a different ball game for us.
Yeah.
When we leave the house, it's like, pray the hedge of protection around me, asking for wisdom and guidance, and Lord, here I go. And that's it. Every day is a chance.
And what kind of guidance can you give when, quote unquote, leader of the free world, the president, is calling out people for being thugs and saying, once you get to looting, we get to shooting, promoting even more violence going on.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Against his own people.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, these are American.
But the followers, and I say the ones who listen to that rhetoric and dance to the tune of that rhetoric, it gives them the power to act just as bad.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now citizens are taking it into their own hands. Well, they were over there looting Target, so I'm going to shoot them.
Right. I mean, there's
my president's got my back.
Yeah,
obviously.
Exactly. The president's got somebody's back, and then they say the KKK application's been flying off the walls, off the shelves when it comes to it. There was just a report the other day about somebody trying to purchase a home. They go into the home. The officer has a KKK application on the wall, and they're like, you know what? It's actually a black couple, and they're like,
we're good.
It's time to get up out of here.
Yeah.
I know what this is about.
Right.
Guy took a picture of it, and I'm assuming it's still getting involved from here. But there's still people out here. I'm in an apartment complex right here in Huntsville, Alabama, and I get a KKK application letter
You
placed
should
in
have
my
filled it out
doorstep.
like Black Klansman.
Placed there.
You should have filled it out and
It's
infiltrated.
wild. I mean, it's still real. Whether it was a joke, it could have been a joke. It could be the real deal.
But it's
Whatever
not a
it
joke.
is.
But it's so serious.
Exactly, but it's not a joke. This is serious. As they say, as long as the color of our skin is classified or seen as a weapon, we will never be seen as unarmed. So we'll always be seen as a threat. I mean,
it's a good point.
It's a walking time bomb.
Oh, he
in
had
this
sun
nation.
blocking. Oh my God, his skin was.
That's it.
It's ridiculous.
Put the melanin on the ground, please, sir.
Melanin?
Put the melanin
Exactly.
on the
Come out
ground.
with your skin off.
What they talking about? Blue lives, you know. Hey, I got family members who are officers, state troopers, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But they can take their uniform off.
Yeah.
And be subjected to the same.
It's
thing.
wild.
Same thing.
It's wild. It's weird to like. All right, so it's weird to be around cops. I'm not afraid of cops, although I feel like sometimes I should be. The thing is, the way the news is, the things that I see on social media and things I see on the news makes me feel like every time I'm around the cop sees me as the Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's got to be 8 of them to take me out.
Exactly.
But some of that stems from, and this is kind of the conversation I've had with a couple of friends who are police officers.
Yeah.
Because there was so much corruption and things going on when it was one-on-one before the body cams.
Yeah.
When it was a regular traffic stop that turned into an ass whooping.
Yeah.
And no one could vouch or verify what actually happened.
Right.
Then you had to start having, and this was back, obviously before the 40s, 50s, 60s. This is way back. That, when the police officers used to ride and patrol together.
Yeah.
To have each other's back,
Yeah.
for these situations. And I'll put the link out there. I don't even mind, but I was reading something the other day about just the history of the police force and kind of where it was coming from, where it started from. But it was basically slave control.
Yeah,
They were actually sent out to make sure that slaves weren't getting free and running around.
I think
and
Snoop put like a slave retrieval application that so you could be part of the group.
Right, and so that's what it stems from. Now, do I believe that the police are necessary for a functioning society? That's been proven that that's not the case. That they actually are not needed. We have it to provide structure, if you want to put it that way. I got it. Somebody's got to kind of say, hey, you know what? This is the line, and you're kind of teetering over here. But it's the excessive abuse of power.
Yeah.
It's not even about the force; it's the power.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The whole thing has always been from the beginning of time about who is in power.
Yeah.
Whoever's in power controls. Yeah. Whoever controls regulates all this other stuff. And then what is bad? What is too much? What is bad?
Good and bad are supposedly constructs.
Right. But they're still subjective as hell.
But all right, so you're talking about they're here to keep the law straight.
The law.
But here's the thing. The law is not about what is right, it is about what is legal.
Exactly.
But who defines that? Because like you said, with other cultures and whatnot, it's okay for men to have relationship with little boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you talk about some of the things that we look up to, the ancient Greeks. I mean, that was just wow. It was accepted. I mean, even in
are you not entertained?
Yeah,
right. Is this not the reason which you are here?
From biblical times on, it was like accepted because that was the culture.
That was the culture.
Somebody had to say, "Nah, I ain't with that." You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know that, you roll with it.
Yeah. Slavery was legal.
Right. Completely legal.
It was
up until. I didn't read. I mean, because of all this, like you said, it kind of takes you into a deep dive. But I didn't know. I can't think of the name of the city now, but it's like a port city in Africa. Still has slaves. It wasn't actually abolished until 1981.
What you got to realize is, I mean, across the globe, slavery has never stopped. It may have taken on another name,
exactly,
but it's never stopped. People have always been taking advantage of others while they're in power. Well, one person told me that's why they call it history. Yeah. Because whoever's in power gets to make up the story. It's his story. That's how it goes. Yeah. So, I mean, whether it's someone trying to oppress a people or traffic a people, it's a slavery mentality that's going on. And I'm not these sick individuals out here doing these things, with that kind of mentality. And unfortunately, a lot of those individuals happen to be in power. I was reading another crazy article the other day. A former DARE officer just got convicted and sentenced for
Where was this?
for kid pornography.
Where was this?
Dare.
Dare.
I'm saying where,
I remember
though?
Dare to
To
be
keep
drug
kids off drug. Okay.
Drug abuse resistance education.
Oh
Right.
wow.
I had a shirt. I took the class. Now we all know, like you said, that was still something that was put in place to deter and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. But again, the ones who were teaching.
That's it.
Let me go and take. I remember taking that Dare class. And the weirdest thing about that Dare class, I'll never forget it. There was a cop teaching the Dare class.
Chill Will.
Yeah, well,
No, put names on
this
it.
dude was different. It was a cop. He came in, and before we sat down, we were in the bleachers. Do the old Dare thing. You were sitting in the gym. We all had to get our fingerprint. We had to get fingerprinted. It was the weirdest thing. I was
Didn't
like,
tell you why you did that?
I actually was like, why do I need to get fingerprinted? It was
Let's
like,
go ahead and get you in the system
Yeah,
so
well-
when you come back, they have a trace.
All
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
was like,
need
Joe
1/3 of the
Tabasco.
class.
is there a reason as to why we shouldn't fingerprint you? I was
And
like,
half
because
of
I'm a
it-
child, dummy.
But half of it was to take you through what it's like to get booked to this and this and that.
Nah,
That's
they
what
knew
they
what
sold
they-
us.
That's
Right.
not what they told me either. Joe,
That's
I
what
just
they
got,
told
hey,
me.
put your fingerprint over
Yeah.
there.
There was
told
another
us
system in
They
place.
told Sauce it's only a matter of time.
That's it,
Put
man.
your-
We'll see you either
I thought
today
it was
or
fun.